Hi, we are Helen and James, and we are Global Nomads. Follow our journey as we sell everything we own to achieve financial independence and retire early. We'll be fulfilling our dream to travel the world full-time, visiting new places, having new experiences, and making new friends along the way. Are you ready? Let's go. April
29
and starts
2023
and starts the day we made our proper decision that we are going to sell everything, including the house and the business, and travel the world and be nomads. Cheers.
Starting from
When?
today.
So today is February 14th, 2024, a very different Valentine's Day for us. For the last 20 years, basically, we owned a flower shop, and this is our first Valentine's Day that we have not been in that flower shop since 2003. So quite a different day. Did spend the day at the doctor's this morning. Wasn't planning on that. Wasn't quite planning how I thought my first free Valentine's Day would be, but there you go. This is where we are. The rest of the time we're now in full-on planning mode with 9 weeks to go until we leave to travel full-time, and so we'll be heading home now this afternoon to do some more packing, some more staging, ready to get the house on the market by the end of the month. Wish us luck. I think we're going to need it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, then we are James and Helen, and we are a couple of expat early retirees who are in the process of selling everything we own to travel the world full time. Now, when we were looking at this process, we're currently in March 2024, and we are planning to start our travels next month, April 2024. We actually started this whole thing though last year, almost a year ago. We made the decision that this was what we wanted to do, and there were a few logistics we needed to get in that taken care of before we could actually make the move. Like we've sold our business, and at that point we hadn't done that, so it wasn't quite as straightforward as being able to go into work and say, okay, here we go, I'm done. We had to wait until that process was taken care of. But even before the business was sold, we had already made the decision that we were planning to sell everything and travel full time, and that was probably almost a year ago now. So at that point, we really thought, well, we don't know how long it's going to be before we can leave, but we should really start the process. And so last April, May time, I started to look at selling what we could and getting rid of things and going through the house and donating, and starting, like I said, almost a year ago. Now, during that time, I watched a ton of videos from lots of people who are full-time travelers on YouTube. And lots of people talk about this process, but it's usually once they're actually on the road, they're traveling and they reflect upon it. I thought I would try and record some information now about how I feel at the moment, and maybe I'll look back on this in a year's time, and maybe future Helen will feel differently to how current Helen does. I don't know. Current Helen has really found this quite difficult. I think from what I've seen on YouTube, women generally tend to find this process harder than men. Getting rid of all your stuff. I think we just tend to value stuff more than men do, and we collect more stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's what we do. You know, we have more things that we use and we want, and pretty things. You know, I just think we do that more than men do. But like I said, we started this process back in probably April, May last year. And initially I went through the house and was like, okay, well, what can we trash? We started room by room, and kind of had a trash, very typical trash, donate and sell piles. I focused really on what, if we had anything that was kind of a high value item that we could sell. For example, I'm into photography, and I had a DSLR setup that I changed for mirrorless for lots of reasons. Mirrorless is much smaller, lighter, easier to handle. But I still had all my DSLR equipment and lenses and tripods and all this stuff. Actually, I think I had maybe 4 tripods. I don't know, photography people out there will relate. You can never have enough tripods or bags. It's just the way it is. So I focused on those first of all and was like, okay, what can I sell here? Now then the next stage you have to get over after the emotional, oh, but it's my stuff and I like it, is it's worth nothing. Okay, everything is worth nothing. You're really not going to get back very much for it. So my photography equipment that really cost several $1,000s, I maybe recovered about a third to a half of what I paid. And I think actually I did quite well getting that much for it. And that's not just electronics, that's everything. I then started to list clothing you really get very little for. I'm kind of a clothes hoarder too, or I was. And I ended up donating an awful lot. But I really wanted to focus on anything that was higher value that I could sell. For example, we sold a little giant ladder. Stuff that we could get like $100, couple $100. We did do a few yard sales last year, but gosh, yard sales are really just soul destroying, you know. We did community yard sales here in our subdivision, and you get people through, but everybody wants to give you like $2 for something that cost you $300. I'm not saying I had great stuff, but you kind of put in all this work and lay everything out, and then maybe make a couple $100. Maybe if you're really lucky, you're gonna make a couple $100. And the second one we did again was like less than that. And so yard sales were really, we felt a lot of work for not a lot of return. We then looked at furniture. We sold quite a bit of odds and ends of furniture that we knew we could get rid of. Although we're selling the house furnished, there was extra pieces that we knew we could sell. So we kind of went through this initial process. And at that point, it was okay. It wasn't too difficult because everything that was going was things that we either hadn't used or were not going to use. So I'm like, okay, I can handle this. And then at the next tranche, it really starts to get harder. Stuff that you have hung on to has memories. I'm a big glass collector, so everywhere we would go I would have glasses, and you know, I look at these glasses and you pull out this stuff and you go, why have I got this? Why did I buy this? I had glasses from, we live in Orlando, Church Street Station, which people I'm sure will know about, and I had a glass I bought there in 1996. Like, why am I hanging on to this glass? I don't know, but I was. And I still find things like that quite hard to get rid of because it's the memory associated with that thing rather than the actual thing. And I know that all you people out there are going to say, yeah, but you still have that memory. You don't lose the memory just because you lose the thing. And that is absolutely true. And that's what you need to hang on to. I found that quite hard though. I'm getting there. I'm really getting there, but the process has been hard. We are going to have a storage unit. Now, I know that there's a lot of debate around, everyone always says, oh, we started out with a storage unit and then we wish we hadn't and we got rid of it. Well, we kind of don't have that as an option simply because, as I said, we're in Florida. We moved here in 2004. To ship our stuff back to the UK is really not viable. It would cost us $2,000-$3,000, maybe even just a little bit of stuff that we have. And then storage facilities in the UK tend to be quite a lot more expensive than they are in the US. So it really didn't make any sense. And at this point, we don't really know where we're going to end up. You know, we have plans to travel full time, but what if we do it? What if we don't like it? What if we want to go and buy a house somewhere again? I don't want to be shipping my things all around the world 2 or 3 times. So at least in the short term, we are going to have a storage unit. Now, when I say we're having a storage unit, the things that are going into that storage unit are actually things that can't be replaced. So, for example, I have a container that's just full of the ashes, the remains of my dogs. And you might think that's a bit crazy. If you're a dog person, you'll relate, I'm sure. But I'm never going to throw away the ashes for my dogs. I have another, maybe half of our containers are full of photographs. I know, it's 2024. They can be digitized, and they have. I just can't bring myself to throw away the photos. And I know that makes me some kind of old duffer. I don't know. But I just can't bring myself to do it. I did take all of the photographs out of the albums, and I have ordered them all into storage, proper kind of those little plastic storage unit things you can get that you put them in, and that they are acid free and all that stuff. And so they are all ordered and in date order, but I just can't bring myself to get rid of the originals. And anyway, that's about half of our storage containers anyway. I've kept things like my wedding dress. I have kept some knickknacks, things that we collected in our travels. So for example, on our 25th anniversary, we went to Sri Lanka. And I like elephants, and I bought this huge elephant that weighs about 25 pounds. It's a big wooden elephant. And I'm not going to get rid of it. I know that you might say, well, you're not really being a full minimalist. And no, I'm not. And I'm proud of that. Okay, deal with it. That's just the way I'm going to be. Maybe I'll feel differently. Maybe, like I said, you'll see this Helen in the future will look back at this and go, why did you keep that? Why? I don't know. Maybe not. But that's where we are for now. I have had a little bit of a clothes issue, it would be fair to say as well. Clothes and handbags, yeah. I've probably sold about 12 Coach handbags, and I still have about maybe 6 in storage. What can I say? I like handbags. But I did sell the rest. Again, higher value items, so I knew I could get more than a few bucks for them. So they were something I focused on selling. But it is a process. Clothes I found hard too. To say to me when I basically had like 3 closets full of clothes, all right, you're going to travel full time and you can only take a carry-on suitcase, so you can only really have 7 days worth of clothes. Okay, but I am a self-confessed overpacker. So what am I going to do? I can only take like 4 bottoms and 5 tops. Oh, and you can probably tell I'm plus size too. So that limits my options even more. You know, I love watching these girls who are like, 20 something and a size 2 and can take 3 times as many clothes as me in a carry-on suitcase. Maybe one day that will be me. I doubt it. But I find it very hard to part with my clothes, my bags, nice stuff. I think ladies, you can relate. When you look at stuff and you're like, it was nice, it makes me feel nice. Jewelry I've also sold a lot of as well. It's stuff I don't need. I'm not going to wear it. I sold it. Again, you'll get nothing for it. Nothing for nothing. But what can you do? We've kind of had this mantra that we've had to get into of, okay, well, if I get $20 for it, it's $20 more than I had this morning. And, all those little $20 have had added up, and that definitely is going to help our future travel budget. But I do wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking, how am I going to take enough clothes? I can't take enough clothes. I can't do this. And I can, obviously. It's a first world problem. But it's something that I will find difficult, I know. And I'm also extremely concerned about being able to buy clothes on the road. Like a lot of people who travel full time, I'm pretty sure we're going to spend a lot of time in Southeast Asia. And, people there are tiny. And I know that I'm going to have a harder time finding clothes. It's a hard time finding clothes in Western countries. There's a lot more options now than there used to be, but finding nice, decent quality stuff can be harder. But that does concern me greatly. But parting with things has been difficult. I'm still in a process and telling myself it's a way forward. I'm sure I kept far too much. In fact, I know I've kept far too much. I know eventually we'll open up those containers one day, whenever that is, and go, why on earth did we keep this? But you do need to get over the, nobody's going to give me anything. I'm going to lose so much money. All the money that I paid for everything, I'm not going to get back. That's a very, very tough pill to swallow. And nobody necessarily wants your stuff either. I had like some brand new stuff, especially clothes, shoes, brand names, and nobody wants it. Um, and the same can be said of a lot of your stuff. People just won't want it. And I think at this point we've donated probably about 70 trash can bags full of stuff to Goodwill. That might be things like sheets. How did I have this many sheets? I've collected so many sheets over the years and I didn't even know. I even had sheets from, and the Brits out there will know this one, Marks and Spencer's, that we were given as a wedding present. Now, to put that into perspective, we've been married 31 years this year, and I still had the sheets from when we got married. They're great sheets, by the way, still in really great shape. Kudos to Marks and Spencer's. They have now gone to Goodwill though, because they still have plenty more wear left in them. But why had I hung on to them for 30 years? I don't know. They were just in a drawer in the spare bedroom. Why? Why did I keep them? I didn't need to. We had sheets on the bed. I don't know. But you just kind of, you get things and you put them in a drawer and then you don't do anything with them. But it is an emotional process. I do think you need to prepare yourself for the fact that it will be an emotional process. Everything you get rid of has some kind of memory or purpose or meaning attached to it. And if you're one of those people like my husband is, that can not get attachments to stuff and is not bothered about stuff, doesn't care about having stuff around them, then great, this process will be really super easy for you. However, if you're like me, where every little thing has an attachment and a meaning, and you like to have stuff around you, then this will be a hard process. But if you can embrace it, which I am now, I think I'm finally at the stage of embracing it. And actually I feel so much better not having all that stuff. And although you can see stuff behind me, all of this stuff is staying. This is stuff that's coming with the house. We're selling the house furnished and everything stays. So I've just kind of kept out knickknacks ready for when the house gets photographed on Wednesday. But it's a process. And a process that isn't easy, but a worthwhile process. We've both said this already, that even if we weren't leaving, why did we not do this sooner? Because it already feels better and lighter to be rid of all this unnecessary clutter in your life that you honestly don't need. I've still got plenty of things in this house. I still have everything I need. I still have a ton of clothes to choose from for now, until I have to get rid of more. There's plenty. You don't need stuff. You really don't. And I think you really start to examine stuff in a different way too. When you go around the shops and look at things and think, do I really need this? And put a different perspective on that outlook of, do I need it really? Or am I just getting it to have more stuff? We've kind of been watching the TV a little bit more in a few different perspective now, really. From, if you consider advertising, it's all about stuff, and they want you to buy stuff. Advertising stuff to you, stuff that you don't need. You really don't need it. Trust me, you don't need it. So I'm trying to be dragged kicking and screaming into minimalism. I think I'm getting there, and I'm confident that from the few shorter trips we've done, just carry on only and with less stuff, that I'm actually really going to like it. I was explaining it to someone the other day. We did a 3 week trip last August, and it was our first attempt at carry on only, and we did Amtrak across the country. And this person said to me, oh my goodness, I can't believe that you did a trip that long, just carry on only. And I did, and I couldn't believe I did it either. But my first response to her was, once you've done it, it's a game changer. It totally is a game changer. It's so freeing to be able to move around with just one carry-on, walk to the plane, get on the plane with your carry-on and your backpack, and be done, and walk off the plane with your backpack and be done. and not think about, I've got to go to the luggage carousel, not did my luggage make it, oh, I better check my Apple AirTags, is the case still in wherever I boarded the plane. All of that's gone, and it really is a game changer. And doing laundry on the road is really not that big of a deal. We kind of lucked out a little bit last year. Our plans changed from a hotel to we stayed in a like a vacation rental, which had a washer dryer, which was amazing. And again, it was a great way to try it out because now we know we can make it work. You just wash your clothes, put them in the case. It's great. It takes you 15 minutes to pack up everything we have. We can pack in 15 minutes now, and that's amazing. And not be wasting time packing and unpacking. And then, like I said, moving around, so much easier. Just getting in and out of an Uber is so much easier without big cases. So, reluctant minimalist here. I'd like to maybe look back on this in the future. Maybe, like I said, you'll see future Helen coming back here just to see what March 2024 Helen was saying about Swedish death cleaning, minimalism. Can I make it work? Am I waking up and having sleepless nights, feeling traumatized by can only take a carry-on only suitcase and all the stuff I've still got to get rid of? Maybe you will. Maybe you'll see what we're doing. All right, guys, have a great day. So if you are thinking about traveling full time and losing everything and going through the whole Swedish death cleaning process, which if you have never heard of that, basically the principle really goes that you're kind of sorting out your life ready so that no one else has to do it for you. Usually they're referring to your kids, but we don't have kids, but it really is that so no one else has to sort out our lives for us if anything were to happen to us. We do have about 25 storage containers in a friend's storage unit. We do think one day, I don't know when, that we will open up a base somewhere, wherever that may be in the world. Certainly don't think it's going to be in Florida, because once we leave, I don't think we can ever afford to come back if the way things keep going as they are. We have been in this house 20 years, and it's hard. There's lots of memories. Been through a lot here with my dogs and just life in general. We spent a long time and a lot of money getting the house really nice and how we wanted it. And it is a very, very nice house. We sold in 2 days. We've done a lot of work to it, a lot of updates. I'm very happy with it. I just wish it was less expensive to live here. And the area is, like many, many places in Florida, has become so overrun with overdevelopment. It's just not the area it once was. But I guess I'm saying, really, if you are going through this, I think I realised it would be difficult and it would be emotional. I don't think I realised how difficult. But I'm very, very much looking forward to the future. Not regretting the decision at all. But just be prepared. It's going to be hard. And on that note, I guess I need to go and sort out some more stuff, because I have tons of stuff to sort out still. And I'll catch up with you soon. So this is our last week in our current home in Florida. And today, this is about maybe a quarter of the clothes that I started out with. I have 2 closets, this closet and this closet. And I now have to get this down to what will fit in a carry-on suitcase and some clothes for a cruise in one big suitcase. And the rest is going to be donated or trashed or not sure what else. And yeah, not sure how I'm going to do it, because I still have far too much stuff. So today's not going to be a good day. I already know that. So we just signed our side of the deal, ready to close tomorrow for our house. March 4th today?
April.
I don't even know what month it is. April 4th. We should officially close tomorrow, April 5th. buyer has to sign their area tomorrow. We're here at their closing agent. Here we are in Celebration. How'd you feel?
Let's do this. Ready for the next chapter.
On to the next bit. So it is Friday, April 5th, about 9:10. The new homeowners will be here in about 20 minutes to do the final walkthrough, and then we close today, and then we say goodbye to our home of the last 20 years. Mixed emotions about that, really. Happy to be moving on, happy to be going somewhere different, but ultimately this has been our home for 20 years, and it's a very, very nice house. We've done a lot to it, but time to move on. The next chapter. So it's Sunday, April 7th. We're I don't know, when did we sell the house? We sold the house on Friday, so we're like 2 days past the sale. Been a difficult couple of days, although feeling much better now, much more of a relief that it's done. It took an awful lot of work to get to that point that we could sell the house. We're now camping out at a friend's house who is in the UK at the moment, so our house was empty. So we've been able to stay at her house. She very kindly let us stay there. But it's all a little bit temporary. We're surrounded by lots and lots of stuff still that I still have to sort and manage somehow to get down into 2 large suitcases and 2 carry-on suitcases. And if you could see how much was there, and you probably will at some point, then you would be like, how is that going to happen? Because at the minute I don't know either. So here I am. I'm sitting in public car park here, which is for those of you that might be non-American, this is a local grocery store, big chain in Florida. Pretty much the only one we have around here. So we are going to be on our way to the beach. We have a lot of jobs to do on the way though, but we're going to go down to the beach and stay there for a couple of days and take a break, take a bit of a breather hopefully, and just relax for a little while. That's kind of the plan. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the sunset from the balcony, maybe to have a Chinese and just take it easy for at least a couple of days. Then we will be back to it. We still need to sell the car. We still need to sort out everything we're taking. We still need to donate a lot of stuff too. So there's still quite a lot to do. A few financial things to sort out too, some last bills to pay. But we're getting there. We're kind of down to, like I said, today's Sunday and we leave 2 weeks tomorrow. We'll be flying to Chicago for the first leg. So that's where we're at. Keeping you updated. Maybe I'll check in again at the beach and you can see the nice beach. So here we are in the last stages of trying to work out what we're going to keep, what we're going to take, what we're not going to take, and this is kind of the chaos that is packing right now. My little case is about done with my backpack, so I'm just trying to do my big case for the cruise. And yeah, this is where we're at. Well, we managed to save the war zone that was the front room. Just about done in here. A few more things to tidy up, pack up, donate, but there we go. This is what we got it down to. Again, a bit more tidying to do, but we're almost there. Hi there, so today is Sunday, April 21st. And we are at the Hyatt Regency in Orlando at the airport, and we are going to be heading out tomorrow to head to Chicago. We just sold the car on Friday, sold the house a couple of weeks ago, and this is really the start of the nomad journey where we're going to be beginning. So we're staying overnight tonight here at the Hyatt, a hotel we stayed at many times, as the Orlando, it was our home airport, and they very kindly upgraded us, and we are here on a actually a free night certificate because we have a World of Hire credit card and it gives us 1 free night a year. So we were using that, and they very graciously upgraded us to the presidential suite. So you can check out that video separately. I did do a room tour here of our 1,200 square foot suite. It's quite impressive. But tonight's our last night in Florida. Almost 20 years we've lived here now. Moved here from the UK in 2004. So lots of emotions, lots of feelings. It's been quite the journey to get here. But tomorrow we head off and nomad life starts for real. So, how are you feeling?
Well, it took us about a year to get to this point. We decided last April.
April 23, yes.
April 23 that this is what we were going to do after planning to stay in Florida forever. And it's been a process of selling a business, which happened in October, selling a house in 3 weeks, which was a bit quicker than we expected.
Much quicker than we expected, yes.
Selling a car a couple of days ago, and selling all of our worldly belongings, so that we've only got 2 carry-on cases and 2 backpacks and 32 containers in the storage unit, but we don't talk about that. Thank you, James.
A lot of people will talk about not keeping things in storage. We did elect to, just because there was lots of sentimental items that at this point I'm not ready to get rid of. Of those 32 containers, probably around 12 or 13 are just photographs. And then we've got other things like the ashes of our dogs, little knickknacks that relatives gave us. They're kind of sentimental items. And I know there's a lot of talk around you shouldn't have a storage unit, you know, that's a discussion for another day, but at the moment we have elected to do that because we do think eventually we will have a home base again at some point. Not sure where, not sure when, but I think at some point we will. So at the moment we have got 32 containers.
That wasn't the plan.
No, it wasn't the plan. But we do have 2 carry-on suitcases and 2 backpacks, which at the moment are rammed to the top. I mean, I think we both know we do have too much stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're both going to lose things as we go through this, but this is a very hard process. You can't just start it and say, right, I'll just get rid of some things. You have to go through and do a call, and then you have to revisit it and then do it again, and then revisit and do it again, and whittle it down and sell it on Facebook Marketplace,
which is soul destroying in itself if you've ever sold anything on Marketplace,
eBay, or local people, or donations. The amount of donations that we've done is truly amazing. And this process tells you one thing, that anything you own in your house, the chances are it has practically zero value. No matter how much you paid for it, unless you have something very expensive, it's worth nothing. Jewelry, furniture, clothes. We've raised about 20,000.
Maybe a push, yeah.
20,000 in selling items,
But
and not including the car.
And that was selling some kind of high ticket items too, like jewelry. I had some camera equipment I sold. So there's been some bigger ticket items in there too, not just, we went through the cupboards and sold a few random things. There has been some big ticket items in there as well.
And we sold the house completely furnished. So everything was in the house, including Hard Rock Cafe glasses from 50 different cafes across the world. It's a process, and it's not an easy process. There will be tears. It will be stressful.
I cried when I sold my car.
But it's for the greater good. And having less stuff in your life makes things better. Although at the time when you're getting rid of it, doesn't feel like that.
No, it does not feel like that. So in terms of starting now, are you excited?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah. Go
We've
on.
decided everything's done. Orlando's no longer our home. We have nothing. We have no ties to Florida. We've got the next 2 months around America, and then onwards. I'm ready to get going.
I agree. I mean, as you said, it has been a really difficult process. I think much harder emotionally than you think it's going to be. Walking away from everything that you've had and the life you've built is difficult. But that said, you've still got the memories. You know, the memories don't go anywhere. And at the end of the day, you know, it's stuff, but it's your stuff and stuff that made your home and made your life. So don't underestimate how hard it is to walk away, because it is. That said, I'm really excited to get going too. We have so much stuff planned over the next few months. Well, actually the next year. We have now we're at the end of April, and we've got travel until pretty much the end of March already booked and planned. So we know exactly what we're going to be doing. Lots and lots of really exciting stuff. Is it hard to like drive to the airport and think, oh, this is the last time I'm ever going to drive to Orlando Airport? Is it hard to drive away from your house and around your street and have the last Chinese that you're ever going to have at your local Chinese? All that stuff that you then start thinking, oh, this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's hard. And you shouldn't underestimate how hard that is. But onwards
And upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Yes, hopefully upwards, because we're going on a plane. But that's kind of where we're at right now. The hotel, like I said, did upgrade us, so they also gave us some very nice goodies too. So we've got a nice charcuterie and some chocolate covered strawberries that they gave us too. So we're gonna chow down on those and relax and kick back and enjoy this enormous suite that we'll never stay in again.
Before our flight at 9:55 tomorrow morning.
9:55 tomorrow, off to Chicago for the first leg. So stay tuned, follow us, like and subscribe and all that stuff, and there'll be more to come.